Hello, I'm Sophie D'Souza and welcome to my channel, Sophie Stained Glass. Loads of videos about architectural glass, everything I hope you could possibly ever want to know, especially about leaded glass. Generally aimed at the professional, but hopefully useful to hobbyists and beginners. Today's video is about how to get the old cement off your glass when you're dismantling a panel to then rebuild it. I've had loads of these jobs and it's horrible. It's really horrible, and I scrape and it's boring and difficult. And yes, you can watch me break pieces if you trawl through my videos. So I figured there's got to be an easier way, and so I've done some experiments which you'll see in this video. And stay tuned for a discussion later on in the video about the whole plaster issue, whether or not to add it to your cement. I get a few comments about that, so yes, I hope you find the video interesting. So here are my samples. These are as they've come out of the window, and these ones have been soaked overnight in water, thus. And this, just as an experiment, is from a different window. This would be an antique window, and it was just a piece of glass, and I wanted to compare how the cement on this window was to this. So this is how I traditionally approach cleaning up glass, and it's hard. It's really hard. You can also do this. You can scrape it like this, and that's quite good for the edges too. So yeah, better on the edges with a knife. And then, so you can break the glass if you get if you go at it too hard. I also sometimes use one of these, but it will make some very slight wheels on the surface of the glass. So depending on the texture and how hard this stuff is, you may not want to use one of these multi-tools. So now let's have a go at the stuff that's been soaked. Well, that's just coming away, isn't it? That's just gorgeous. So that would be your easiest way, would be to soak the glass. The only trouble I'd say with that is you've got to take the whole window apart and put them all in water, and then you want to mark them up carefully with the numbers using a pen where it's not going to come off, which you can do. And I would suggest using one of these pens, which is a paint marker, and it's one of those ones that should have a little, yeah. Can you hear that? So you press the tip down and it gets it going, and obviously you'll need to use some sort of spirit at the end to erase it. But then you'll have no worries about the numbers coming off your pieces. So yeah, this is coming off much easier, much easier. Okay, so we know soaking in water works. Let's just see how it is with this other piece that's not from a modern window. Wow, that's not going anywhere. Oh no, it is. You just have to flick it off rather than scrape it, if you know what I mean. So get your blade under rather than on top. So yeah, it's definitely tougher. It's definitely tougher than the cement on this modern window. So this modern window here was actually one I made that's been damaged, so I'm remaking. And what's quite interesting is the whole debate about whether or not to put plaster in your putty mix. So this has got plaster in the putty mix, and it comes off and it's fine. And I'd say it's actually softer than this one, which is an antique window, which supposedly wouldn't have had plaster in it. So of course I don't know really what what putty they used in this or what cement they used in this. But if it's an old window and if it was traditional, well, then maybe actually this modern recipe that I use that's got plaster in, well, that's just fine. Because as we can see, in the wet weather, this cement is going to have a bit of give in it. A bit of give, but not too much give, if you know what I mean. It's still there, it's still in place, it doesn't dissolve. But this one, from the old window, that's even harder. But, you know, like I say, this is not scientific because I don't know what that is. But there you go. If you need to take apart a window that's got a lot of cement, soak it in water and it comes off a dream. Good to know, hey? So there we have it. I hope my soak it in water top tip was helpful. Probably stained glass artists across the land have always been soaking their glass in water and wondering why I don't. But that's the whole thing about working on your own. There's probably loads of things I don't know. Please tell me. Send your tips in. I love to get them. And also, I hope you found the discussion about plaster or not in your cement recipe interesting. Because I find it interesting, and all I can say is that I've always done it with plaster and I'm a bit scared to try it without plaster. What if my windows fail? You know what I mean? And if I did an experiment, I'd probably have to leave it for 20 years to see the results. So it's quite difficult to know. So yes, any of your thoughts will be interesting to me. Thank you for watching. And please like, comment and subscribe.